All right. Here we go, guys. It is time for a Home Story Cup cast. We are going to be looking at a Group Stage B game between a Zerg and Terran Blair up here in the top right. The Zerg, it is SortOf. It's been living in Korea for a long time now. It's looking really fit lately as well. Lost a bunch of weight. It's looking real handsome and healthy. He's been loving life over there in Korea, kicking some ass and building up his skill. Down here in the bottom left-hand side, in the blue, the ever-aggressive... One of the... Actually, does he use mouse acceleration? No, it was Bunny who used mouse acceleration. The player who still does not use camera hotkeys. It's Team Liquid's Uthermal. One of the few pro gamers who does not use camera hotkeys. Okay, it's a 2 Rex at the front of the natural. And there is a gas up nice and early. So looking like we might see maybe like a multiple Reaper opening, put on a bit of pressure and fall back behind it. You could just go for a light marine pressure, but that just, even on a medium distance map like this, seems like it absolutely lacks any oomph to it. We'll see though. You could go double marine, snipe the Overlord. There's no second gas going down. Reaper first. Interesting. What is this build from Uthermal? Third barracks on the high ground. No. He's just going to pressure with a Reaper to make it look like a normie build. And then, no, he's actually going 3x Reaper. He's dropped a second gas. Okay. Oh my god, it's just a 3x Reaper expand. And SortOf's Overlord path doesn't go to the front, so he's not going to have any warning of this. Oh, there must be, I don't know if this is some mind games between the players where SortOf's Overlords get sniped a lot from Marine, so he's not going to the front, but he's going to have no warning of this. Now, he is going for a relatively standard build, but no, he's delaying link speed. He's going for the quick third hatch. Don't do that, SortOf, you need link speed. Oh, no. Oh, Uthermal's just, countering the player. Really good build preparation. And the third hatchery does drop at the third. Reaper comes in. If he can get a drone, that'd be epic. Oh, he was very close to getting that shot off as well. Reaper's just doing a nice little dance here, forcing an extractor and a spore crawler trick to save those second Reapers here. And this is the first moment where SortOf gets warning of what's happening. SortOf still has not started link speed, being very greedy, trying to get a head start in the macro game. And Uthermal's just taking advantage. Link speed does now start up. Lots of drones are on the way, which is, at least that's good for SortOf's economy, but he's going to need more queens. As you hit 3, 4, 5 Reapers, queens cannot stand up. He's trying to connect the bases with creep, but already grenades starting to tickle away at those queens, potentially separating them as well. That one queen still, that Reaper still has not injected the combat drugs. Oh, focus fire. SortOf focuses the weak Reaper, does take down that one. And behind this, the command center does drop. More and more Reapers are rallying across the map. Losing a Reaper, though, not too good here for SortOf, but there's still a big window before Ling speed's done. These Lings not going to pack much of a punch. Good pullback on those drones. Lings and Queens are continuing to herd away. Third and fourth Queen is on the way. Third Queen's almost out. These Queens now are suddenly vulnerable, though. Another Creep Tumor going down will help with the mobility. These Queens have taken a fair bit of damage, and if they ever get isolated, these Queens will fall very fast. But Uthermal, he's going to pull back. Let those combat drugs kick in. Let those Reapers heal up. That orange hit point Reaper very exposed there. Uthermal just wanting to preserve the hit points, and he's going +1 attack and a 4th and a 5th barracks. He's going full Ziggy. Full Ziggy. All right, I love it. And look at this. He's about to hit a supply cap as the command center finishes. Knows he doesn't need another depot there because this build is timed out to perfection. Beautiful, beautiful build. Everything lining up very nicely. Here starts the orbital behind that. Oh, that queen, she goes off creep. There's no transfuse energy right now. SortOf's got to be real careful. Now, that creep getting down there is doing a good job, but... Oh, nice snipe. Gets the tumor there. SortOf immediately has to put down another one. That's... Oh, queen gets isolated. That's what I was talking about. He accidentally... I think he might have shot his own Reaper a little bit there. The Zergling's coming out. You got to get out of there. You got to escape the surround. SortOf's looking for the surround. Nice zoning grenades. 1 or 2 Reapers do get surrounded, but most of them escape. They do tax quite a few of those Zerglings and a few hit points off the rest of the pack. But the Reaper count not looking that scary. I think, Uthermal's got to play safe with them until he gets another 4 or 5 Reapers and lets the hit points regain. And then he can maybe do this. But notice how he places the grenades behind his Reapers and then retreats over it. Zerglings are very fast. If you throw your grenade in front of you, the Zerglings will just run straight over it and get past it before it even goes off. So you've kind of got to do a throw a grenade under your feet, pull back, throw it under your feet, pull back sort of retreat. Sort of here with just one control group of Zerglings right now. He's looking to manually set up a spread, but I'd love to see 2 groups. If you're going to commit to 44 Zerglings, you really do want to surround. He's veering in from both sides. He's veering in from both sides, but it's been spotted. Notice how Uthermal keeps veering in the opposite direction so that he can see if there's a trap that's trying to come around him. Yeah. And whenever he isolates one pack of Zerglings, they can't fight. Sort of realizes this. He pulls back. He's going to say, you know what? Okay, there could be 2 packs. As far as Uthermal knows, there could be 2 packs kind of posturing on either side. You got to be a bit wary of that. I'm just going to pull back and not let you pick away at me, but that's 16 Reapers plus 1 attack stun as well. Oh my god. That's so many Reapers. That's disgusting. And if they get on top of the ramp, how do you deal with that? If you don't have queens up there already, how do you go up this ramp? Oh my god. Okay, he's not going to go for it. He's not going to go for it just yet. The Lings looking for a wraparound, but they show themselves, and Uthermal says, I got minerals here. I'm safe behind those minerals, at least from the Zerglings. The queens are there, though. Ling's on the high ground. Has he overextended? I think he has. Oh, the Lings don't, though, let most of those Reapers get up there. They wanted to evade the grenades, and oh my god, great surround. Great surround there by SortOf. Unfortunately, Reapers with +1 attack don't give a crap. Oh my god. SortOf's like, die! Die! A few more Reapers are going to go down, but the Lings just die so fast. Oh my god, the units lost tab. And 100 Zerg units have died to 14 Terran units. About doubly as efficient. Just under that. And this Reaper count continues to grow. It is 7 racks Reaper, 3 more barracks on the way. Sorry, did I say 7 barracks? It's like 12 barracks, guys. 8 barracks are finished, 3 more on the way, going up to 11 barracks Reaper. Holy crap. +1 armor's almost done as well. SortOf's +1 carapace not finished, doesn't even have the melee, so he's down in upgrades. And he's just getting drained. Uthermal's got a 3rd base landed. His Reapers keep surviving. Whenever they get surrounded, they're just using the terrain, finding their way into these choke points, limiting the surface area. And whilst finally a lot of them fall, it's, I think, a bit too late. SortOf has been building nothing but Zerglings this entire time. 31 drones against 51 SCVs. Down in upgrades, and whilst the tech is not great for our Terran player, does it need to be? He's got 11 barracks, he's going up to 14 barracks. What an absolutely disgusting legend. Oh my god. We need like a vom emote. Something that is kind of like a puke. Like we need like a something for when people play strats like this, so that the Zerg players can whine in chat. So every time we see a good storm land on a Protoss, we can see the Terran players spam it. We need some sort of really disgusted emote, I think. Oof. It's not game over, but the next engagement needs to go near perfectly for SortOf. Now, it's still Mass Reaper, so there's a chance. I mean, I think you want some Banelings in here, though. There's a few. SortOf stuck on 47 workers, trying to mass Lings, because these Reapers could just run across the map at any moment here. And 9 Reapers are being built at a time. Factory's about to finish, so we're going to see medevacs added in to help out the Mass Reaper in the near future. Armory's on the way, so we can continue the Reaper upgrades. This one Reaper that I just randomly clicked on has 11 kills, by the way. But shit. Another one has 5. Oh my god. Queens do have carapace. Very helpful to get carapace. Reapers deal 2 attacks, so every armor upgrade counts twice on them. Now, obviously, that means it does just cancel out the attack upgrades of the Reapers. It's not like it does any more than that, but it does mean it's very, very effective, especially if you get a head and armor upgrade on the Reaper's attack upgrades. Getting that double armor modifier kicking in. Very nice. Reaper's going to come forward to get a queen. Baneling's waiting to finish. SortOf does not have a flank. Another 12 Reapers decide to walk in. These zoning grenades just stopping the advance. Remember, while your units are being bounced by those grenades, the Reapers can still attack them. They can still shoot them while they're floating about. SortOf's going to look for the flank. A scan spots it. And, I mean, he's just not afraid. Uthermal doesn't care. He's like, fight me, bro. Let's go. He's like, I'll just take you down, man. Baneling's just getting scattered here. A few Reapers in front. He wants to throw zoning grenades. Bane speed's done. Speed Banes versus Mass Reaper. 4th and 5th command centers. Oh, sorry, 6th command center is on the way. Spire starts up. That's going to do well when he swaps to Mass Marine. Nah. Leaving a few Reapers up front here, realizing he can just take some splash as long as it doesn't hit the core. Nice Ling run by. Going to take out a few Reapers on the back side of this. Ooh, very nicely done. Reapers on the right-hand side, bouncing those Banelings. The Banelings so desperately want to hug those Reapers, but unable to get in range. Oh my god, did overstay a little bit while microing his expansion back at home. Did lose 5 SCVs on that base. Is the distraction going to cost him these Reapers? I think it will. The Banelings finally find their mark. Those Reapers go down. Back at home, though, he does have another 27 Reapers up. Building them 8 at a time, starting stim and combat shields. This is so hilarious. This build is the best. 14 barracks, guys, most of which have no add-ons. That's the Terran base. Oh, Uthermal, you're disgusting. Fear the Reaper man. Yeah. 2-2. Spire's almost done. Lings, Banes, but still only a 53 drone economy. SortOf just can't replenish his units. Like, if SortOf somehow had made it to 70 workers at this point, I would actually be like, yeah, you still have like a chance in this game, just because Uthermal doesn't have infrastructure, you know? Well, no infrastructure for anything other than Mass Marine, but as the 4th and 5th land and turn into planetaries, it's like, there's just too much. Reaper squads splitting off in multiple directions. Ooh, they get cornered. They don't make it back to the ledge. They really wanted to get back to the ledge. And oh my god. Oh my god, they're just, they won't die. SortOf is so mad right now. Oh my god. 2-2's almost done for them as well. The squad of Reapers on the north going to back off for now. We've got Mass Marine on the way. Stim and Shields about to finish up. Base is there. Base is there. Turrets going down on every base. I love how this Overlord just sees everything. And it's like, oh my god. 3 Mutalisks coming across. Wow. Wow. That's a fearsome harassment there. SortOf looking a little bit desperate here. He's like, I'll get a supply depot. Uthermal's like, I've got 90 workers, mate. 90. Oh my gosh. Gets 2 supply depots. I mean, it's something. He's up to 70 workers behind it. He's spreading creep. SortOf's working hard to try and find his way back into this game. He's like, you know what? If I get enough Banelings, there's always a chance. Stim and Shields both just finished, though. Unable to stop those from finishing. If he could have sniped Stim, that would have been awesome. But you see, Uthermal knew that was a threat. They built 2 missile turrets there. Marine's starting to come forward. Uthermal's just going to try and do a gigantic spready on creep. He's going to show us his gymnastics. And, yeah, spread those units. Reapers are going to counterattack the south side at the same time. Marine Micro is Uthermal's strength. His ability to just stand his ground and gun down Banelings. Very rarely will he pull back. You can see he stands his ground here, but he's gonna get chomped by that flank. At the same time, though, his Reapers do jump in on the south side. They can just click the hatch, man. Oh man, that hatch just goes. It's gone. I mean, the Mutas will deal with these eventually, but they're gonna take a while. Lingbane has to come back to defend this base here. Nice zoning grenades there. The Reapers gunning down a lot of these units. So many grenades. The Lingbane trying to evade them. They're going in, they're going out. Finally, these Reapers get cleaned up. But behind this, it's a 90 SCV Terran building 13 Marines at a time, building even more barracks, realizing that without reactors, he actually needs more barracks, guys. 14 barracks is not enough. He needs to go up to 16 racks. Needs more bases, more turrets, more planetaries. And he's just going to rally Marine Medevac. He's now also got Widow Mines, a fantastic anti-Baneling, anti-Mutalisk unit. Obviously, Mutas can micro with an Overseer to snipe down Widow Mines before they fire, but it's very micro-intensive, not something you can do very easily. Lings do find this expansion. Mutas picking off depots on the south side. Unfortunately, there is a column of Marines that stretches across the entire map. Oh my god. Uthermal's playing the Snake Challenge, but he's using units instead of buildings. Oh my god. The Widow Mines are just going to try and burrow on top of the Banelings. Oh my god. A lot of those Banelings do go down. The Mutas fly and they're going to fall. SortOf realizes he is done and dusted. And that was... So, sending the Overlord to scout the front. Yeah, it exposes it to risk. But I think we sort of definitely would have liked having a bit of a heads up of this coming. And Fast third hatch, not particularly helping there. GG's. Nice game 1 victory there for Uthermal. It is a best of 3. Of course. Wait, shouldn't it be best of 5? I thought the group... Oh, the group stage is best of 3 because it's round robin. So they have to play 7 best of 3s. That makes sense. Yeah, he didn't make reactors because he had so many barracks anyway, and he wanted to keep that momentum going. Didn't want to give SortOf time to recover and catch up there in that at all. All right. Let's go, guys. Straight on into game number 2. Down here on the bottom right-hand side, showcasing some disgusting Reaper control there on New Repugnancy. The Terran player. It's a liquid thermal. Liquid thermy. Up here in the top left in the red, it's SortOf. Why wouldn't the Zerg go Roaches? Roaches are actually kind of weak versus Reapers. Whilst Ravagers can outrange them and stuff, Roaches are very slow, so it's hard to have them in multiple positions at once. They don't take, you know, they are a bit more armored, but with good grenade micro, we actually see the really tip-top Reaper micro players still take care of them. And because you can never actually get on top of the Reapers and force them to fight the way you kind of are meant to be able to with Zerglings, Roaches are... Some people like to go Roaches, but I feel like the consensus in the past, back when 3x Reaper was very popular amongst EU pros, and I'm not sure if it's changed, was that you would basically, by going Roaches, ensure that you're behind. Unless the opponent decides to just throw his Reapers into the Roaches and get them killed, you will always end up behind economically. So best case scenario, you're like a little behind with Roaches, whereas with Lings, if you manage to get the proper surround, then you can actually annihilate them and then drone freely for a while. Of course, we saw that momentum is a powerful thing, and Liquid, you know, Uthermal never gave the space for SortOf to really get comfortable. SortOf, I think, maybe could have done a better job of cutting off the reinforcement and hiding his flanks until the last second. But it was tough. It's just tough on that map, you know? So Uthermal's going to go for a much more standard opening. Reaper expand into second barracks. Looks like a 2-1-1. That, of course, is going to be Stim added on that barracks. This barracks with a reactor building Marines. There'll be a factory, a second gas, and he'll go for the 2 medevac Stim 16 Marine timing attack. We'll hit about 5 minutes 10 on this small map, depending on how he wants to hit it. 5:20 is usually the standard timing, but we've seen players sometimes hit as fast as about 5:05 or 5 minutes, especially if they decide to skip the Reaper and go reactor first. The SCV there actually blocking that drone from turning into a spore and adding some important damage. Uthermal with some very annoying harassment, really pissing SortOf off here. And he blocked the attempt on the third base down there as well. There's no drone on that third. Nice play. The Drilly Boy's still going at it. No, no, no. Okay, the drones do turn around. What a boss though. That one Drilly Boy was like, I got this, fam. And they're like, you really should have retreated. You could have got out of here. You've already contributed enough. Just goes in there and keeps drilling that drone. SortOf was very close to losing an extra drone to that. If he lost that, he would have been super triggered. Reaper there blocked those Zerglings, blocking the jump up spot. Third hatch does now go down, not too delayed. I mean, all things considered, it's a drone loss. It's not the end of the world. The Terran pulled an SCV for it. The Zerg, you know, didn't. And, oh, lovely scout from SortOf goes around the back door and sees the Stim. So he knows, oh, okay, this is a 2-1-1. He should know. I would poke in there and out to actually double check. But it looks like he wants to hide the fact that he scouted this. Because, of course, Uthermal... Oh, no, he's in vision. He went too deep with the Overlord anyway. Thought that Overlord would be slightly out of vision. But I thought he might want to hide the fact that he'd scouted it, just so Uthermal maybe overcommits. Reaper goes in. Zerglings and Queens say, nah-uh. Reaper gets out, though. Uthermal's Reapers are like cats. They have 9 lives each. You can pick one up and like throw it at a wall and it still just will like get back up, inject some combat drugs and be like, nah, I'm fine. It's cool. You're like, seriously, man? Seriously? So what's the response? Single Evo chamber. Fast carapace for SortOf. It's going to go up to about 7 or 8 queens probably, and drone this third really hard. I'd like to see a lot more drones right now from SortOf. I think getting another 7, 8 drones out on this base is the highest priority right now. So as these injects pop out, that's important. SortOf's actually slightly lower on drones than I would have expected, and I think it's because he's prioritized his creep spread so much. He got an early tumor going, and now it's an early 4 creep tumors. He should really save the rest of his energy for transfuse, and then he will have at least 2 transfuses. He might even have a third one on this queen that's got 20 energy by the time this hits. Carapace starts up. He's on 50 workers, so notice 15 workers on the third, 16 workers on the natural, 16 on the main, 3 fully saturated mineral lines. And he's just going to start massing lings, adding queens, and he's going to try and intercept this with a queen ling defense, and then add more drones and more banelings behind it to stop the next wave. No combat shields queued up behind the stim, by the way. +1 weapons is on the way. I really like this follow-up. This is my favorite follow-up, is the +1 weapons. And he's going to go siege tanks. He swapped the starport off. That will need to build 1 more medevac, but he's using that reactor for the third barracks. So he's going to, he queues up combat shields, and he's going to do a 3 medevac, 2 siege tank, +1 attack timing here. This is similar to that build Maru did a lot back in a year and a half ago or so. Year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever. It was a year and a half, about a year ago, year and a half ago. He was doing it every single game, but he stopped doing it at some point. This is a different version though, because it's only single evo, so it's going to hit a little bit harder and faster. But yeah, this medevac will pick up those 2 tanks, so they're hidden, boost across. We'll have another like maybe 15 Marines join up. Shields will be done, +1 attack. It's going to be a really brutal timing attack. Now, where does he want to set it up? I imagine he's trying to siege his tanks. He might start here, but if he can get all the way to siege up here or here, he's going to try and leverage the terrain and get a really nice angle. SortOf on the other side hasn't droned up that hard. It's just adding a 2nd gas, 3rd gas, 4th gas. So he's going to focus on a more mineral-heavy style, which means lots of lings, lots of banes, lots of queens. Those are the most important units. The tanks are on their way across this map. Now, there is going to be a 3rd CC behind it. It's not all in, but you can see the worker differential. He definitely wants to do some nice damage with it. And it is going to be this southern side. He's going to push towards the 3rd. He doesn't want to just snipe the 4th. He wants more. He wants to really force a fight at a favorable timing. Scans ahead, starts to clear up this creep. The queens are not in position to push this back, unfortunately. But you got to go for it, SortOf. Don't run away. You've got the unit count. He has the unit count. He could have gone for that, I think. Oh, his baneling count was a little low. That's why he erred there. And he ends up losing those banelings anyway that were morphing. Oh, no. I think SortOf might have been able to jump on that, but his baneling count being a little bit low made him a little bit afraid. Oh, no. He's not ready to engage this. I don't think he's ready. He's going to go for it, but the banelings cannot get to the Marines. The tanks are actually tanking. The banelings try to get through. The queens need to focus that tank. They need to focus that tank. Oh, he does manage to take the siege tank out. Oh, whew. That was very close to being nasty. If there's even 8 Marines and a siege tank left, like it just becomes an absolute disgusting drain on your resources. But nonetheless, Uthermal still clearing out a lot of creep. He took a pretty incredible trade there in the units lost, which does make up for that Zerg mineral advantage throughout this early game. SortOf did not bring every queen. He's trying to get out a few Hydras. I would actually, I think a few Hydras, I guess, is not too bad. But he still hasn't really droned up to 6 gases. So I feel like just the Ling Bane count is the more important thing right now. Because, yeah, there's going to be another follow-up push. It's just Uthermal, such an aggressive Terran, only now landing his 3rd base. He's adding his 4th and 5th barracks and his 3rd behind it. He's still on single engineering bay. These Lings are going to come in, and that's an important scout for SortOf. He is going to see that 3rd base with the Zergling, comes on in, and says, okay, all right, you do have a 3rd, but only now. Once again, exact same position. Such a good position, guys. Those tanks wedged in there nicely. A few Marines on the high ground. Going to add fire support as well as spotting potential. Going to force that mineral line to evacuate. SortOf taking the better part of Valor and just retreating. Sends a Ling counterattack across the map at the same time. Nicely done. It's a good number as well. Those Marines can't deal with it. Ooh, nice surround there by SortOf. He's going to cause a good bit of counter damage. Uthermal, once again, his micro is disgusting. Those Marines are actually able to give fire support from the high ground, and the Drilly Boy is adding a bit. 5 SCVs go down, but it's defended. SortOf quick to reinforce, adding more Lings, but I feel like it might just be not quite enough. I think he should have sent more Lings initially. If you're going to give up the hatch, you might as well just send more in the first place. As it is, few Marines, few SCVs, forces the 3rd to evacuate. He's got his own 3rd back up and mining, does need to put on gas. He's got his Hydra upgrades on the way. 5 Hydras just for that ranged fire support. And he's going to keep sending Lings across the map, but this one is destined to fail. Nah, his whole rally's there. You got to pull back and get rid of this goddamn Marine. He keeps seeing you. They're staring at each other. The Marine is just giving him the finger. He's like, yeah, yeah. I'm going to run away, actually. That's probably not a good idea to give the finger to 30 Zerglings. Yeah. This is the worst job you can get in the Terran army. Worst job. Bane speed's done. It's 1-1 versus 1-1. But guess what, guys? Second eBay's up. 2-2 started. Where's the Zerg double upgrades? Not started. He's going Infestation Pit and more Hydras. SortOf's forgotten his 2-2. It's still, this game is still all about the Ling Bane for the next 2 minutes. The Infestation, the Hydras, SortOf's getting ahead of himself. He does not have the economy to support Hive Tech, and he does not have the gas to support Hydras. He's now started the 2-2, but that delay could be costly. Uthermal sees him taking down these rocks. They do take down, though. They do get taken down, though. One tank in the Marine rally ready to protect the third. Ling Bane here ready. This time, he's not in such an angle. Not that many Zerglings. That's problematic. I don't think it's enough of a surround. He doesn't have enough Zerglings in here. It's a good Hydra Baneling count, but look at the Marine firepower concentrated there. One tank survives, and you can see that the moment the Banelings were off creep and the Marines didn't have Banelings coming from the back, they were able to clump up, focus their fire, and the Banelings couldn't get to the front line. You need an overwhelming Ling Bane count to deal with this army. The Hydras are adding almost nothing in this scenario. Because it's all about getting on top of the tanks, having enough Ling Bane to make the Marines piss off, kill the siege tanks, rinse and repeat. If not, get a full surround and overwhelm. All of that relies on the Ling Bane count. And even though the upgrades are equal, it's the fact that there was investment in Hydras rather than more Ling Bane. I do feel that cost sort of here. And unfortunately loses yet another 4th base. I mean, it's not too important. He's got another one up on the south, but maybe he should have abandoned that in the first place, not taken the fight, waited, cut off reinforcements, and then let the base die, but don't let him retreat. Catch him on the retreat. Catch him once you've got a few more rounds of Lings out. Use that defender's advantage. Without using that, though, and since he's been getting drained down in these fights all game long, SortOf here at about half the cost efficiency of Uthermal, and you can see the supply differential is getting bigger and bigger. 2-2's about to finish for Terran. Uthermal would love to pick a fight off creep here, but he's still only building tanks out of one factory, guys, and that means he's got 5 siege tanks. He hasn't missed a beat on it. He's going 3 more barracks, which he's going to add tech labs on, and that's going to give him a lot of marauders. So about 2 minutes from now, we're going to see a Uthermal with like 8-10 concussive shell marauders in his army. Their ability to just slow down the front line of Zerg, tank against the Banelings, and really allow the Marines to just be a bit more protected is insane. But for now, it's still a fragile army that needs to gun down the Banelings before they connect or somehow evade them. Nice rally, does defend the Ling counterattack on the backside. You can see Uthermal being very careful here. It's 2-2 versus 2-2, +1 range as well as a hive on the way here for SortOf. This is a good map for the Terran positioning. So, I mean, it's not SortOf making terrible mistakes, guys. It is Uthermal leveraging amazing positions, and SortOf needs perfect reactions to deal with that. He's going to try and drop Marines on the Hydras to keep that tank alive. Big balls, droppy boy. And does end up going there. Nicely done. 3-3, +1 range on the way. More tanks, more Marines. Still no gases on the third because it is such a bio-focused style. 4CC is on the way here for Uthermal. Where are those tech labs? It's just going to be building extra Marines for now. 3-3 on the way. Uthermal wants to fight before SortOf can max out. He knows he's been kind of keeping SortOf down on not the best economy. Oh no, SortOf's about to get flanked. This side is about to get destroyed. He's got to get out of there, or he's got to go right now. He's going to go. A lot of his units. Oh, it's a death zone. He's choked up on the north side. He's choked up on the north side. Oh no, a bad angle from SortOf. The worst angle he could fight in. And a devastating defeat. His army was already very vulnerable, being mostly Baneling Hydra. It meant he needed to fight on creep. But it's a classic mistake there. You cannot engage around a corner with the shorter ranged army. This applies to all races, but you'll see this the most as Zerg. Anytime you engage around a corner, a death zone gets created. So this spread, that's good for dealing with drops. That's good for running the Hydras up to here and trying to kill a tank that's there or there. But the moment you're trying to get actually on top of this army, you're basically saying all of these units have to go here. Now, how are they going to go there? They're going to say the fastest path is just down there. You know what? This is a perfect chance for Weatherman, right? This is the Weatherman moment. Okay. All right. So, We have Kalaris joining us once again for another analysis segment. He's going to look on, excited, very intense, because he knows I'm about to drop some knowledge bombs while we draw some amazing things. So let's go. Let's get our brush out. And all those units across this gigantic angle, they can't move through there. They can't do that. So all of these units are going to converge, trying to go around in that direction. And that's going to create an absolute choke here, and especially here, as these units all get stuck on each other, trying to squeeze through. Now, you also add Hydralisks forming a battle line about here, and things get super nasty. So you got to remember, the Hydras and Banes here were just absolutely devastating. And not to mention, look at this, guys. That's creep spread. There's no creep spread here. You cannot fight with a mostly Hydra Baneling army off creep. Those are kind of fragile, high damage units. They need to be able to get on top of your opponent's army to do the damage, to close in with them and crush them down. If you don't have enough lings to get on top suddenly, kill the tanks, to trap the Marines, stop them from splitting, things get really, really hard. So if we look at this in-game one more time, we can take a glance and we can say to ourselves, okay, cool. You know, this is nice. Let's take a look. How does this go? Already, you're way off creep over here. You're way off creep down here. So like I said, it's not looking good. But watch what happens. All those units are going to attack, and we're going to see that kill zone on the north side, especially with slow ranged units that create... So this was especially bad. The Queens create a choke there. And look at this, as the Hydras stop, even if it was just Lingbane running into melee, you'd still have real devastating points here. Luckily for SortOf, the tanks mostly were firing on the Lingbane Hydra on the right. If they were firing there right now, the splash damage would be devastating. But once these other units wash up, we're still going to see the units stuck behind each other. The firepower of Uthermal concentrated, and obviously Uthermal already had the better army. But that was the absolute worst angle there for SortOf. So, you know, a little bit nasty there. In the end, a victory for Uthermal. GG, well played, Uthermal, with a decisive 2-0 victory. Hats off to you, buddy.